Hello again. This is Just Torah, which is mainly a channel for people who believe in keeping the law or instructions, along with belief in salvation through YAH Yashar'el. Again, I reiterate, if you do not have this belief, please don't waste your time with this channel. I'm not here for debates or argument. I'm only here to study Torah according to the scriptures. Alright, welcome back. I'm going to continue with Exodus 21 now. We read earlier Exodus 19 and 20, where kind of like at the beginning of the when the covenant was starting, and they had left Egypt and they're in Mount Sinai, and they are deciding they're actually meeting Yah for the very first time. And they actually heard his voice on Mount Sinai, which scared them. And they told Moshe after that, they were like, we'd rather hear you talk to us. You talk to Yah for us, and you come tell us what Yah said. I don't want to have anything to do with that because it was too scary for them. So right now we are at Exodus chapter 21. And right now these are the judgments that are set forth that Yah has given Moshe to relay to the people. That the laws have not been written yet. These are, I guess you can say, commandments right now. This is even before they even had the covenant, because you actually see the covenant being cut in around chapter 24. So he's laying down some laws that he expects them to follow along, since they won't agree. He putting it out up front. Here's my bylaws. And chapter 20 is basically your 10 commandments, and now 21 is an extension of the other laws he has. So here we go. Verse 1. Now these are the judgments which you shall set before them. If you obtain an Ivri servant, 6 years he shall serve, and in the 7th he shall go out free for nothing. If he came in by himself, he shall go out by himself. If he were married, then his woman or wife shall go out with him. If his Adonai or Lord have given him a woman, and she have borne him sons or daughters, the woman and her children shall be her Adonai's, and he shall go out by himself. So you get basically Hebrew as a servant. They only supposed to serve for 6 years. If they come in by themselves, no kids or family, then once them 6 years up, they're supposed to leave by themselves. But if they came in, they were already married, had a wife, whatever, the wife and kids will go out with them after them 6 years, which is their 7th year of release. Now, if he was a servant and he ended up getting married while he was under your servanthood, under your work, then, and you as the Lord or laborer, how you want to call it, boss, that's gonna hit boss man. You as the boss gave him a wife, then when the 7 years come, he cannot take that wife and children with him, because they belong to the boss, me, whoever is the one, the Lord over them, because he gave them out to you. But if the servant shall plainly say, I love my Lord, my boss, I love my wife and my children that I bore through these 6 years, I will not go out free. I don't want to leave. If you want to stay, then this is what you must do. Then you as the boss or his Adonai shall bring him unto the judges, which each tribe had one set of judges for each tribe that handled all difficult matters and stuff. Then he shall also bring him to the door or unto the doorpost, and his Lord shall pierce his ear through with an awl, and he shall serve him forever. So that Hebrew servant will be forever a servant unto that particular Lord, because he didn't say it. Basically, that's what he wanted to do. And if a man surrenders his daughter, verse 7, and if a man surrenders his daughter to be a maidservant, she shall not go out as the menservant do. If she please not her Adonai, who has betrothed her to himself, Then shall he let her be redeemed, meaning somebody from the family can redeem her, buy her back into the family, to the fold, to surrender her unto a strange. Then let her, okay, right, verse 8. If she please not her Adonai, who has betrothed her to himself, then shall he let her be redeemed. To surrender her unto a strange nation, he shall have no power, seeing he has dealt deceitfully with her. So if he don't like her, Lord don't like her, whatever, then he can't just give her out to anybody. Somebody from her family can redeem her. He cannot allow her to be bought by somebody from another nation. It has to be somebody within the Israelite tribe. And if he, verse 9, and if he have betrothed her unto his son, he shall deal with her after the manner of daughters. That show you right there. You cannot mistreat your in-laws. When I say in-laws, I mean fathers and mothers cannot mistreat their daughter-in-law or mother-in-law, because you got to treat them just like they're your own daughter or son. And if he take him another woman, her food, her raiment, and her duty of marriage shall he not diminish. And if he do not these three unto her, then shall she go out free without money. So, it show you right there, multiple marriages were allowed. I don't agree with it, but it's not for me to debate on. Multiple marriages are allowed, but he tells them how they must be treated. So if he don't release her, then if he get another wife, he got to treat the first wife just as good as the second wife. He can't diminish anything how he treat her, whether it's house, clothes, food, raiment, everything. He will provide for her just as much as he provide for that second wife. So you can't just have multiple wives and then think you're going to treat one better than the other. You can't do that. It's not allowed. Alright, verse 12. He that smites a man, and if he does do such a thing, then that first wife is free to leave. But she gonna leave without anything though. But she free. But you ain't gonna have no money. So he can't hold on to her anymore. Alright, verse 12. He that smites a man so that he die shall be surely put to death. And if a man lie not in wait, but Elohim deliver him into his hand, then I will appoint you a place whether he shall flee. That comes into the point about the 6 cities of refuge, but you read about that later, and that's in I want to say Leviticus. All right, verse 14. But if a man come presumptuously upon his neighbor to slay him with guile, you shall take him from my altar, that he may die. And he that smites his father or his mother shall be surely put to death. Now, this is something I tell folks all the time. Don't teach your kids not to hit you. Please teach your kids not to hit you. Don't. But your parents shouldn't provoke your kids either. But your children really should not hit the parents. It says shall surely be put to death. Means you'll just die early. You ain't gonna die immediately, but you can cause an early death, because Yah has a thing about hierarchy, about respecting the elders. And understand, us as elders must understand, even if we do what's wrong, there's a whole other weight of judgment that comes upon us. So each level has their weight and judgment. But teach your children, don't hit you. Don't raise your hand up. Teach them to learn to respect elders and grown folks. Get another elder to get them. Alright, verse 16. And he that steals a man and sells him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death. Don't steal. He don't play that either. And look, he is reiterating about the mother and father in verse 17. And he that curses his father or his mother shall surely be put to death. Please, just respect your elders. Respect your mom and daddy. Even when they make you mad, hold your tongue. Y'all gonna get them for whatever they do. But you do your part, which is respect them. Respect the position that they have, the authority they have over you. Respect that much. If you don't like what they gotta say and do, be politely just leave. Save your life and leave. Because believe me, you will get an early death. It is not worth it. And if, verse 18, and if men strive together, and one smite another with a stone, or with his fist, and he die not, but keeps his bed, if he rise again, and walk abroad upon his staff, then shall he that smote him be innocent. Only he shall pay for the loss of his time, and shall cause him to be thoroughly healed. So you get in a fist fight with somebody technically, and that person lives, but he's hurt real bad and he can't work. You are supposed to pay for that. You're supposed to pay for his help get him back in health and everything. So if you don't want to pay for nobody's medical, because you got upset and you decide you want to fist fight somebody and that him not got him back up, but he lost time as far as work and you harmed him and hurt him, don't fight people. Because y'all gonna tell you in y'all's eyes you need to help pay for that person to get back restored to health. Alright, verse 20. And if a man smite his servant or his maid with a rod, and he die under his hand, he shall be surely punished. So this for us, people that want to talk about being slave owners. Slave owners could not, and that's really an Israelite slave owners. Let me be clear, because this book is mainly talking on the Israelite. Israelite slave owners cannot mistreat their slaves or servants or maid or whoever it is working for you. You have no right to mistreat them. You mistreat them, y'all gonna get you. That's all I'm gonna tell you. Don't do it. Notwithstanding, if he continue a day or two, he shall not be punished, for he is his money. So if you mistreat your maid, servant, whatever, so much that they point they die, y'all gonna get you. But if the person is just hurt real bad, he said, I'm gonna let that pass because that's your money, you do wrong. Alright, I'm glad these days are not here to a degree. Verse 22, if men strive and hurt a woman with child, so that her fruit depart from her, if you have a miscarriage or a child come early, and yet no mischief follow. So if they fighting and it cause a woman to have her baby early, but the baby is fine, he shall surely be punished according as the woman's man will lay upon him. So whatever her husband say you got to do, you gonna have to do, whether he decides to touch you. And he shall pay as the judges determine also. Now, and if any mischief follow, then you shall give life for life. So if a child die or something, technically in y'all's eyes will be life for life. You killed him, your life should be gone too. Sometimes I think if some of us did follow some of this, half of us wouldn't act the way we do. Here you go, your eye for an eye. Verse 24, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, hand for a hand, foot for a foot. Burning for burning, wound for wound, stripe for stripe. Verse 26, and if a man smite the eye of his servant, or the eye of his maid, that it perish, he shall let him go free for his eye's sake. And if he smite out his manservant's tooth, or his maidservant's tooth, he shall let him go free for his tooth's sake. So if you cripple one of your servants, you gotta let him go free. That was even as a slave person. If you were an Israelite person and you harm them so bad that they become crippled in any kind of form or fashion, you're supposed to release that servant because you crippled them out of your own anger when you think about it. All right, verse 28. If an ox gore a man or woman that they die, then the ox shall be surely stoned, and his flesh shall not be eaten, but the owner of the ox shall be innocent. But see, some of this won't apply to us because some of us don't got no oxes. But some of y'all got pets, so you better be careful with that. But if the ox were wont to push with his horn in time past, and it has been testified to his owner, and he has not kept him in, but that he has killed a man or a woman, the ox shall be stoned, and his owner also shall be put to death. Wow. So if you had an animal that you know there's been a problem and somebody finally got killed because you didn't do nothing about it earlier. Technically, you supposed to basically, it's like life for life. Wow. Verse 30. If there be laid on him a sum of money, then he shall give for the ransom of his life whatsoever is laid upon him, whether he have gored a son or have gored a daughter. According to this judgment shall it be done unto him. If the ox shall push a manservant or a maidservant, he shall give unto their Adonai 30 shekels of silver, and the ox shall be stoned. You done messed with that particular Adonai, or Lord's money, because the maid or manservant is his property. So you basically paying back for the lost property that slave owner had. And if a man shall open a pit, or if a man shall dig a pit and not cover it, and an ox or an ass fall therein, the owner of the pit shall make it good, and give money unto the owner of them, and the dead beast shall be his. And if the ox of one man hurts the ox of another, that he die, then they shall sell the live ox, and divide the money of it. And the dead ox also shall they divide. Or if it be known that the ox has used to push in time past, which means act up in time past and did this before, and his owner has not kept him in, he shall surely pay ox for ox, and the dead shall be his own. Chapter 22, verse 1. And if a man shall steal an ox or a sheep, and kill it or sell it, he shall restore 5 oxen for an ox, and 4 sheep for a sheep. Wow. You don't want to steal, because basically you're going to have to pay back at least a good, what's about 20-25%. You have to pay back 5-fold. You have to pay back not only the ox or the sheep you stole, whatever you steal, you got to pay extra on top of it. You just don't give back what you stole. You give back more than whatever you stole. You really going to be about 20-25% more on top of what you stole. If a thief be found breaking up, and be smitten that he die, there shall no blood be shed for him, because he died doing wrong anyway, so he got his punishment. Verse 3. If the sun be risen upon him, there shall be blood shed for him, for he should make full restitution. If he have nothing, then he shall be sold for his theft. If the theft be certainly found in his hand alive, whether it be ox or ass or sheep, he shall restore double. So you steal something and you live through it, you supposed to restore double what you stole, whether it be ox, ass, or sheep. Verse 5. If a man shall cause a field or vineyard to be eaten, and shall put in his beast, and shall feed in another man's field, of the best of his own field, and of the best of his own vineyard shall he make restitution. Whatever you allow your animal to go do with somebody else's yard, you have to pay back and restore back what you took from that person, basically. So you tear up somebody's yard, you need to go to that person's yard, your dog messed up, and you need to restore, fix whatever your animal messed up in that person's yard. If fire break out and catch in thorns, so that the stacks of grain, or the standing grain, or the field be consumed therewith, he that kindled the fire shall surely make restitution. I agree with that. You was burning something outside, and you couldn't control that fire, and it ended up burning somebody else's stuff. Yes, you should pay back what you didn't burn up somebody else's stuff. Even though it may not have been intentional, but you caused unnecessary harm to somebody else's property. You're supposed to fix it. If a man shall deliver unto his neighbor money or stuff to guard, and it be stolen out of the man's house, if the thief be found, let him pay double. So if you holding something for your neighbor, and somehow it gets stolen, and the thief get found, and that thief has to pay back what it is that you was holding for your neighbor. But now here's the kicker. If the thief be not found, then the master of the house shall be brought unto the judges to see whether he have put his hand unto his neighbor's goods. So they gonna like, all right, we gonna have to check you out, see, make sure you ain't the one that stole it. For all manner of transgression, whether it be for ox, for ass, for sheep, for raiment, or for any manner of lost thing, which another challenges to be his, the cause of both parties shall come before the judges, and whom the judges shall condemn, he shall pay double unto his neighbor. So you got to go before the judge, and they're going to decide whether you did it or not. And if the judges say you did it, then you got to restore back double for what was lost. If a man deliver unto his neighbor an ass, or an ox, or a sheep, or any beast to guard, and it die, or be hurt, or driven away, no man seeing it, then shall an oath of Yahweh be between them both, that he has not put his hand unto his neighbor's goods, and the owner of it shall accept thereof, and he shall not make it good. And if it be stolen from him, he shall make restitution unto the owner thereof. So if something got stolen from your neighbor, and you put out, say, hey, I didn't do it, then the neighbor agrees to it, then you don't have to pay back anything. Now, and if it be stolen from him, he shall make restitution unto the owner thereof. Wow. But if it be stolen from you, wow, we'll get that part. But we'll go on verse 13. If it be torn in pieces, then let him bring it for witness, and he shall not make good that which was torn. And if a man borrow aught of his neighbor, borrow anything of your neighbor, and it be hurt or die, the owner thereof being not with it, he shall surely make it good. Alright, you borrow something, you borrow something from your neighbor, and it be hurt, you got to make good. You got to restore it back, whether it was broke, tore up, whatever you did. Or go in your neighbor's house and break a lamp, and you need to restore a lamp back to him. Shoot. Verse 15, but if the owner thereof be with it, he shall not make it good. If it be a hired thing, it came for his hire. And if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed or married, you over here, all right, y'all, be careful. If a man entice a maid, you over here talking to sister girl, talking them sweet nothings in her, and she is not married, and lie with her, he shall surely endow her to be his woman. Well, you know, them days don't work no more. We don't do that now. If Israel was in Israel, and we technically supposed to do that. That's why you ain't supposed to have sex outside of marriage, because this right here happened. Now, if her father utterly refused to give her unto him, he shall pay money according to the dowry of virgins. So, you entice this chick, she look good to you, whatever, and you lay with her, technically you supposed to get married to her. But if her daddy said no, or mama say no, then you supposed to pay the dowry of a virgin, according to the dowry of virgin. But you know, nowadays that's gonna be hard to do, because a lot of us have started sex before marriage when we weren't supposed to. So a lot of us ain't married. But if you trying to relive this life, don't do it. Don't do it. You need to wait. It'll save you a lot of trouble if you just wait till you're married. Verse 18, you shall not suffer a witch to live. All right, you hear that? He do not play about witches. I'm going to tell you, this ain't going to be the first time you hear this. So do not be hanging around. If you know somebody witch, you might well just back on up. Get away from them. Do not be associated with them. It is not worth it, because y'all don't play that. He really don't play that one. So don't do that. Don't be around about a witch. Don't be trying to get your tarot readings, card reading, palm reads. Don't be doing that. Don't be looking at the horoscopes and stuff. leave it alone. I'm telling you, let it go. Because he looking at y'all might be looking at you side eye about ready to knock the heck out of you. So don't do it. Alright, verse 19. Whosoever lies with a beast shall surely be put to death. We know. Come on, y'all. Ain't no business. You be laying up with no dog, cat, lion, snake, whatever. You ain't got no business laying with an animal like you do a human being. And you know what I mean by laying up with it. Don't be doing the nasty with it. Donkey, horse, whatever. If you do that, I'm telling you, you didn't cross the line. You might not know if you get back from that one. Alright, verse 20. He that sacrifices unto any Elohim, save unto Yahweh only, he shall utterly be destroyed. Do not, I tell you again, because Yah is a jealous Elohim. Do not worship any other Elohim. And Elohims can be anything. I'm sorry to have to tell you. If you're doing Christmas, you're wrong. That's another Elohim. Because they you worshiping. Just go read the history. Do the history on Christmas. Do the history. Look up the history on Thanksgiving. Do the history on Easter, Valentine's Day. You will find out all you doing is worshiping another God. And Elohim is looking at you sideways about ready to destroy you. So I'm telling you, he is very jealous. He really hates that. So do not worship other Elohims. Please don't have no images in your house. Please don't have no crosses in your house. Save yourself the trouble. It is not worth it. If you love Yah, do what he loves. If he say no images, he say no other gods, don't have it. That's all I can tell you. Now verse 21 is very important as well. You shall neither vex a stranger nor oppress him. Why? Because he tell you why. For you were strangers in the land of Mizraim. He telling you don't do it because y'all know what it's like to be oppressed. You know what it's like to be enslaved. And somebody bossing over you and doing you cruel. So do not do a stranger like that or any other person like that. Because he looking at you, you know what it's like to be rejected. You know what it's like for somebody to hate you and to despise you and do you dirty. So please don't do it. Alright, now verse 22, please. You shall not afflict, and listen to this word say, afflict any widow or fatherless child. Y'all better be careful how y'all messing with some of these children who don't have no fathers, or orphans, or widows, women or men who lost their spouses. Be careful how you treat them. Be careful how you treat them. Watch what you do, because like this is you'll read later on. Verse 23 will tell you. Watch. If you afflict them in any wise, and they cry at all unto me. This Yah say, let me hear them cry to me. Let me hear them complain about you doing them dirty. He said, I will surely hear their cry, and my wrath shall wax hot, and I will kill you with the sword. And your women shall be widows, and your children fathers. So please, leave the widows alone. Please do not mess with any fatherless kids or children that don't have a mother or father. Be careful. If they acting out, let them mugs act out, but don't you mess with them. Guide them in a kind way to show them it's better in spite of the fact they don't have a mother or father. Be a mentor or something, but don't mistreat them. Believe me, y'all got a way of dealing with them. They say, now verse 25, if you lend money to any of my people that is poor by you, and understand this, he said, if you lend to any of my people, who are Yah's people? Yasharel. That is who he's specifically telling you. If you lend to any of my people that is poor, any Yasharelite that is poor, you shall not be to him as an usher. You better not be putting charge no interest on that. Don't be charging no interest on him. Neither shall you lay upon him ushering. Don't be charged no interest. If you're going to lend them, lend it and just ask back what it is. If you lend them 100, then let them only pay you back 100, or just count it as a loss or something. But don't be charged no interest. You don't charge your fellow Yasharelite interest. Now you can do a stranger or an alien like that, but you cannot do a Yasharelite. Like your brother, your sister, don't do that. You don't do that. Your family members, don't do that. Alright, verse 26. If you take your neighbor's raiment to pledge, you shall deliver it unto him by that the sun goes down. For that is his covering only. It is his raiment for skin, wherein shall he sleep. And it shall come to pass when he cries unto me that I will hear, for I am gracious. So listen to this. If somebody do something for you and you supposed to pay them before the end of the day. Because that may be the very thing that's keeping them afloat. Do not let that son, don't let them go home without paying them first. Especially if you agree to that. Don't let nobody go home without their money. Because don't nobody want to be broken, and if they just need that money, they can do what they need to do with it. Because if they cry, you don't want y'all to hear them cry. It's going to be over. Woo, it's going to be over. All right. Verse 28, you shall not revile the Elohim, nor curse the ruler of your people. All right, those in charge, watch your mouth. Watch your mouth. Because remember, if somebody's in charge, y'all put them there. For whatever reason. Whether it's the teachers or he knows their heart that they're going to do right the way he like it to be doing. So be careful about those in charge. Verse 29, you shall not delay to offer the first of your ripe fruits, of your liquors, the firstborn of your sons, shall you give unto me. Now that's kind of written in the first part, I think a couple of chapters earlier, that the firstborn belonged to Yah. The firstborn male of everything, animals and males, belong to Yah. So he just repeating that one again. Verse 30, likewise shall you do with your oxen and with your sheep. 7 days it shall be with his dam. On the 8th day you shall give it me. And you shall be holy men unto me. Neither shall you eat any flesh that is torn of beasts in the field. You shall cast it to the dogs. Now some of this part about eating fish that's torn, a lot of us, we wouldn't know, because if we buy most of our food at the grocery store, you really can't tell. So you really have to be kind of careful with that. But he does expect Yasharel to be holy. To be holy people, because he has designated to be a holy nation. He has not designated any other nation, only Yasharel. So you still, in order to be holy, you have to watch what you eat. You must be clean at all times. So you have to watch what you eat. Because what you eat, some certain stuff you do, as you read more in the Torah, you'll realize certain stuff can make you unclean. And you won't be clean until you have to wait. You basically, in Yah's word, you will be unclean until sunset on certain stuff. But you'll read that, find out later on through Torah. Alright, chapter 23. Let's go. You shall not raise a false report. You better not put a lie out there, putting out your hand with the wicked to be an unrighteous witness. Do not lie. Do not be no witness. Don't lie about you seen something and it ain't true. And please do not hang with this. I almost go to point. Do not be unequal. Don't hang with people that's doing wrong, that you know are doing wrong. Like they say, birds of a feather flock together. So you hang with folks that ain't doing right, you ain't doing right either, because you're gonna get caught up eventually. So don't hang with folks like that. Verse 2, you shall not follow a multitude to do evil. Alright, don't get no crowd. Hey, we gonna do this, we gonna tear up some stuff. You better get away from that crowd. It ain't worth it. And it said, neither shall you speak in a cause to decline after many to pervert judgment. You know Yah is a just Elohim. So don't be trying to twist stuff or laws for your benefit, and it's wrong. Be fair all around. If you don't want it done to you, don't do it to somebody else. And let's be honest, a lot of us that's grown, we know what's fair. A lot of times we just don't want to do it, because everybody want their little hookup. We're going to stop with all these hookups. Alright, verse 3. Neither shall you countenance a poor man in his cause. Yeah, this one will be tough. Now, if a man is poor, you have to be careful now. You really do have to be careful. because if he's poor and he's doing stuff that's caused him to be poor, you're not supposed to support that. You ain't supposed to be a part of that. Oh, and he got in that way, in a bad way. He's poor because of some poor decisions he got there. You are not supposed to support that. You're not supposed to be like, be all buddy about like, oh, it's all right. No, it ain't. You know how you got there. If you turn around, he might do better. All right. Verse 4, if you meet your enemies, and I could be, I'm going to be honest with you, I might be wrong in that interpretation, but that's how I interpret it. So, if you want a better interpretation, there are plenty of other teachers out there that probably interpret way better than I do. Alright, verse 4, if you meet your enemy's ox or his ass going astray, you shall surely bring it back to him again. Alright, say you see somebody you don't like, and they drop $20, and you see them drop $20, you're supposed to pick up $20 and give it back to that person. I don't care if you don't like them. You know they lost it, they dropped it, or you see they dropped the code, or they missing something, and you see that missing item, and you don't like that person. You're supposed to return. Even though you don't like them, you're supposed to give them back their stuff. Alright, if you see the ass of him that hates you lying under his burden, and would forbear to help him, you shall surely help with him. If you see he needs some aid, you see him knock him side the road, his tire blowed out, and he your enemy, you still supposed to offer to help. Hard as that's gonna be, I ain't gonna lie to you, because they show, I don't know if I could, but I know I'm supposed to, so I would be judged if I did. So you're supposed to do it. So now you know, if you know the truth and you still choose not, you can get your tail in deeper trouble. So it's just best to be obedient. Just be obedient. You shall not pervert the judgment of your poor in his cause. He reiterated that again, because be careful about some people that are poor. Some people are poor are using it for their advantage instead of they truly are in a sad state. So you have to know, you have some understanding and wisdom when it comes to that. Just because somebody poor, it don't mean it's always, he poor. It ain't always like that. So be careful. Use wisdom. Use understanding. Keep far from a false matter. Alright, stay away from all that gossip. Y'all know how we is. We do like them gossip and stuff. So, and the innocent and righteous slay you not. For I will not justify the wicked. Y'all don't play. Y'all know he don't play. So it's best you kind of stay away from gossiping. Because if you don't know if it's true, you could be telling that a lie. And then you just looking just as guilty and just as bad, and you're going to get in trouble too. It is not worth it. And you shall take no gift, for the gift blinds the wise and perverts the words of the righteous. And I kind of agree with that. Be careful about taking gifts, because most times it ain't nothing but a bribe, because somebody wants something in return. They may mean well, thank you, but no thank you. You go ahead and keep that. Y'all will give you wisdom on when to take a gift. If you're in a high position, you really shouldn't be taking no gifts. You really shouldn't. It's because, like they say, you can pervert the judgment, because some people will bring it back up and say, remember that gift I gave you? Now I'm going to need you to do this for me. So just to keep that out the picture, don't take no gifts. Also, look at them again. Look at y'all. Also, you shall not what? Oppress a stranger. He does not play that. If he keep repeating something over and over again, that is something serious. We've seen this the second time already. For you know the heart of a stranger, seeing you were strangers in the land of Mitzrayim. He just said that in chapter 22, and he repeated it again in chapter 23. He means it, y'all. He means it. Be careful. Be careful how you treating strangers. Be careful how you mistreat people that are not like you. We don't have the right to mistreat people. Because y'all saying you should have understanding, because you know what it's like to be oppressed. So don't act like your oppressor. Ooh, have mercy. Verse 10, in 6 years you shall sow your land, and shall gather in the fruits thereof. And that one, but the 7th year you shall let it rest and lie still, that the poor of your people may eat, and what they leave the beast of the field shall eat. In like manner, you shall deal with your vineyard and with your olive yard. So some of that we really can't do because we are not in our land. We are scattered. So the best I can tell you to do is donate to some shelters or something. Help them out. Because we really can't even do that. Not here. Alright, verse 12. Look at him. He repeating what he spoke in chapter 20. 6 days shall you do your work, and on the 7th day you shall rest. That your ox and your ass may rest, and that the son of your handmaid and the stranger may be refreshed. Please keep the Shabbats, y'all. Please. Yah talks about keeping Shabbats over and over. And if you read the Apocrypha in the book of Jubilees, he even states, I think it's in the 1st or the 2nd chapter, that Shabbat is more holier than even the Jubilee days. It's a blessed day. You get blessed for keeping the Shabbat. You get blessed. I wish I could find it for you. Let me see if I can find it. Let me find it real quick. Please. Let's say here. Here it is. Shabbat is Mahal. He said, declare and say to the children of Yasharel the Torah of this day, both that they should guard the Shabbat therein, and that they should not forsake it in the error of their hearts. And let me be clear, Shabbat, and this would let you know, Shabbat is only, the Israelites are only supposed to keep Shabbat. And those who cleave to Yasharel should keep Shabbat. Y'all cannot force Shabbat on any other nation, because y'all only made that covenant with Yasharel. As I read again on verse 30 in Jubilees chapter 2, and that it is against the Torah to do any work thereon which is unseemly, to do thereon their own pleasure, and that they should not prepare thereon anything to be eaten or drunk, and that it is against the Torah to draw water or bring in or take out thereon through their gates any burden which they had not prepared for themselves on the 6th day in their dwelling. And they shall not bring in nor take out from house to house on that day, for that day is more holy and blessed than any Jubilee day of the Jubilees. On this we kept Shabbat in the heavens before it was made known to any flesh to guard the Shabbat thereon on the earth. And the Creator of all things blessed it, but he did not sanctify all peoples and nations to guard the Shabbat therein, but Yasharel alone. Them alone he permitted to eat and drink and to guard the Shabbat thereon on the earth. So you can see Shabbat is only for Yasharel to keep, and those who cleave to Yasharel. Everybody is not supposed to keep Shabbat. It is only for those who believe in cleaving with Yasharel and keeping these laws and commandments as Yah said to do. Now I'm back to chapter 22. Chapter 23, I'm sorry. Alright. Verse 13. And in all things that I have said unto you, be guarded. And listen to this, make no mention of the name of other Elohim, neither let it be heard out of your mouth. You ain't even supposed to say the names of other Elohim, other gods. That's how serious Yah is about having no gods before him. Y'all be saying names like the Greek gods and some other gods. We are not supposed to even say it. We're not supposed to say it. That's how serious Yah is. Do not even mention other gods' names. He don't even want to hear it. Alright, verse 14. 3 times you shall keep a feast unto me in the year. You shall guard the feast of Matzah, the feast of unleavened bread. You shall eat Matzah 7 days, as I commanded you, in the time appointed of the month of Abib. For in it you came out from Mitzrayim, and none shall appear before me empty. We are supposed to give an offering during that time. And as far as I can say on the offering, I would suggest you donate it to another Israelite assembly or something. That way, or I could best, the best answer I give. Ask Yah and ask him what he wants you to do with that offering. He'll tell you real good. Alright, verse 16. And the feast of Katsar, which is feast of Pentecost, feast of which is Pentecost. Close. I need to do that. The first fruits, feast of first fruits of your labors, which you have sown in the field, and the feast of Asif, or the Feast of Tabernacles, or the Feast of Sukkot. What am I doing? Why do they keep doing that? I ain't need to do that. There, ingathering, same thing. Which is at the end of the year, which is around September, October. When you have gathered in your labors out of the field. 3 times in the year all your males shall appear before Adonai Yahweh. No hamets or leavening, there you go, shall be upon my offering of blood, and no fat of my feast shall remain till morning. The first of the first fruits of your land you shall bring into the house of Yahweh Elohim. You shall not see the kid in his mother's milk. Now that one, I've seen some explanation of it. I'm not going to explain it because I'm not good at explaining that one. But I kind of got an understanding of it. But there are several people that can explain this one to you. Verse 20. Behold, I send an angel before you to guard you in the way and to bring you into the place which I have prepared. Any place that Yah sends you and tell you to go, believe me, before you get there, he's already prepared it. Yah don't send you nowhere that is not already prepared for you. He just needs you to be obedient. Beware of him, about this angel, and obey his voice. Provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in him. Boy, he wasn't playing about that one. Whoever this angel that was leading them, they had to be careful, because he, like he said, will not pardon his transgression. Only Yah did back then. He was the one that pardoned the transgressions. But if you shall indeed obey his voice and do all that I speak, then I will be an enemy unto your enemies and an adversary unto your adversaries. If we would just be obedient, he will be an enemy unto our enemies and an adversary unto our adversaries. Woo! For my angel shall go before you and bring you in unto the Amorites and the Hittites and the Perizzites and the Canaanites and the Hivites and the Jebusites, and I will cut them off. You wonder how I'm saying that? Because I didn't read this book somewhere and figured out what these words is. So that's the Amorites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, the Canaanites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites. Alright. And I will cut them off. Those were the 5 nations that he wanted them to destroy completely. Those only 5 nations. Any other nations that they may have came up, they didn't have to completely destroy, but them 5 had to destroy everything when it came to them. And you'll read later on in late Torah how he explains that. Verse 24, you shall not bow down to their Elohim, nor serve them, nor do after their works, but you shall utterly overthrow them and quite break down their images. This verse is telling him what they should do when it comes to these 5 nations here, because he had a thing against them. Verse 25, and you shall serve Yahweh Elohim, and he shall bless your bread. When we serve Yah, he will bless your bread and your water. And look at that. And I will take sickness away from the midst of you. When we serve him, he bless you with all the food you need. He keep a roof over your head, and he keep you from sickness when we are obedient, when we keep his commandments, keep his ordinances, keep his feast days, as he say. So just keep them. The blessing alone, you will see a turn in your lifestyle. You will see a turn in the way your life is living. Because believe me, I've been doing this since about 2017. About 2017. And me and my husband's life has utterly changed. Alright, let's move on. Verse 26. There shall nothing cast their young nor be barren in your land. Look at that. And the number of your days I will fulfill. This is Yah telling you what he gonna do for you when you obey. I will send my fear before you and will destroy all the people to whom you shall come. And I will make all your enemies turn their backs unto you. Yah is telling you what he gonna do for you when you obey him. Look at, I don't say nothing on there about you got to fight nothing. Just be obedient to what he asks you to do. And he gonna do all the work. That way only he get the glory. You can't get none of that glory. He gonna get all the glory. He telling you, I'm gonna do all this. I'm like, go ahead, y'all, you can do it. I ain't trying to fight nobody anyway. Listen to verse 28. And I will send hornets before you, which shall drive out the Hivite and the Canaanite and the Hittite from before you. He gonna send hornets before you. And I will not, now listen to this part, he said, I will not drive them out from before you in 1 year. He's not gonna do it swift. He said, lest the land become desolate and the beasts of the field multiply against you. So when y'all do stuff, sometimes he do stuff bit by bit. Verse 30. By little and little I will drive them out from before you until you be increased and inherit the land. And I will set your bounds from the Red Sea even unto the sea of the Philistines. Alright. And from the desert unto the river. For I will deliver the inhabitants of the land into your hand, and you shall drive them out before you. Y'all gonna accept your enemy so good. By the time you get them, you just gonna blow on them, or just like, hey, go away, and they just gonna be scared. They gonna give up. That's how powerful Yah is. That's how he take care of you. That's what it's like when you're obedient unto his word. Let me hush. All right, let's go. Verse 32. You shall cut no covenant with them. And he said no covenant with them. He's referring to these first six nations here. He was talking to Yasharel then. Nor with their Elohim. They shall not dwell in your land. Why? He telling you why he don't want you to dwell in your land. Because why? Lest they make you sin against me. And we know ultimately that's what ended up happening. That's why we're in the state we're in today. For if you serve their Elohim, it will surely be a snare unto you. All right, y'all. We're going on chapter 24. Here comes the covenant. That's all on this one. Okay. Is it this one? Boom. Yes, it is. Chapter 24 is when we end here. And he said, verse 1, and he said unto Moshe, come up unto Yahweh, you and Aaron, Nadab, and Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Yasharel, and worship ye afar off. And Moshe alone shall come near Yahweh, but they shall not come nigh, neither shall the people go up with him. And Moshe came and told the people all the words of Yahweh. Now Moshe came down and told people all the words of Yahweh, told them all the judgments. And this is what the people did. And all the people answered with one voice and said, all the words which Yahweh has said we will do. They said all that stuff that Yah spoke from chapters 20 to 23. They said we will do. And Moshe wrote all the words of Yahweh. He wrote it down, all that them judgments and the commandments, and he wrote them all. Rose up early in the morning and built an altar under the hill and 12 pillars. And we know the 12 pillars stand for the 12 tribes, according to the 12 tribes of Yasharel. And he sent young men of the children of Yasharel, which offered ascending smoke offerings and sacrificed peace offerings of oxen unto Yahweh. And Moshe took half of the blood and put it in the basins, and half of the blood he sprinkled on the altar. So on them oxen, he took half the blood, sprinkled it on the altar, and the other half is sitting in a bowl, a basin, whatever you want to say, sink. And he took the sefer of the covenant. He took that book, Sefer's book of the covenant, and read in the audience of the people. So everything we read from chapter 20 all the way to 23, he read it to the children of Yasharel, because he wrote it down. He read it. And after he read it, and they said, here they go again, confirm it. Remember, this is about the third time, because remember, they said that also in chapter 19. All that Yahweh has said, will we do and be. And they said, and be obedient. They said they would do it and be obedient. All right. So Moshe took the blood, and guess what he did? And he sprinkled it on the people and said, behold, the blood of the covenant which Yahweh has cut with you concerning all these groups. Now the covenant has been set. It's been cut. It's been bound. We said we would follow the rules. Y'all put his covenant out there. He put the rules in place. He said, this is what you got to do. And Moshe took it back to the people, said, this is what you got to do if you want to be in covenant with Yah. Yasharel said, okay, we'll do, and we'll be obedient to it. Set that blood covenant, sprinkle that blood on the altar, sprinkle that blood on the people. Now, the covenant has been made, agreement agreed upon by both parties. Then went up Moshe and Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, and the 70 of the elders of Yasharel. And guess what? And they saw the Elohim of Yasharel. They saw him. All these folks here actually saw Yah. And there was under his feet, as it were, a paved work of sapphire stone, and as it were, the body of heaven in his clearness. And upon the nobles of the children of Yasharel he laid not his hand. Also, they saw Elohim and did eat and drink. So not only did all these on verse 9 saw him, but the nobles of the children of Yasharel saw him as well. They saw Yah. All right. And Yahweh said, verse 12, and Yahweh said unto Moshe, come up to me unto the mount, and be there, and I will give you sapphire stone, and a Torah, and commandments which I have written, that you may teach them. And Moshe rose up, and his minister, Yahusha, this Joshua, young age Joshua. And Moshe went up unto Mount of Elohim. So they tell you, Joshua was always with Moshe. Always. Look at him. Young Joshua. Because he ministered to Moshe. All right, let's move on. Verse 14, and he said unto the elders, tarry ye here for us, until we come again unto you. And behold, Aaron and Hori, what is his name, are with you. If you're in the King James Version, they tell you what his name is. If any man have any matters to do, let him come unto them. So Moshe is saying, all right, y'all stay here. Me and Joshua go up to the mountain. If you got any problems, Aaron and Hori will bear him from there. And Moshe went up to the mount, and a cloud covered the mount. And the glory of Yah abode upon Mount Sinai, and the cloud covered it 6 days. And the 7th day he called unto Moshe out of the midst of the cloud. Think about the 7th day. Why? Because that's a day of rest. Y'all ain't working on this day. Ain't that some mess? Go on now. And the sight of the glory of Yah was like devouring fire on the top of the mount in the eyes of the children of Yasharel. And Moshe went into the midst of the cloud and got him up into the mount. And Moshe was in the mount 40 days and 40 nights. Don't that sound familiar? Sound like Yahusha, 40 days, 40 nights on his mount when he was tempted. Ain't that when he was on head after he got baptized? Alright, I'm done. Well, the next lesson I will go on and start chapter Exodus 25. But I hope this lesson was all right with you. If not, believe me, there are so many other people that teach Torah, and they give you the Hebrew meanings and everything. I just like to read and understand the Torah according to my English. But it's just been eye-opening since I've been awakened, and the word comes out more, and I have better understanding than I did before when I used to read the scriptures. But may Yah bless you, and shalom. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.